Are you ready? Am I ready? Is any of us ready? No, is the answer. Are some of us more ready than others? Sure. Are some of us more ready today than we were yesterday, or this week than we were last week, or this year than we were last year? Yes. Many are still asleep. While I have seen people waking up to what's going on, to the control that's been going on, the want to kill us, control us, starve us out, cost us out, price us out on everything. All of these things that are going on, distracting us with things going on in other countries while this one right here crashes and burns. The United States is what I'm speaking of. That's where most of you guys are watching from. Most of you, 45 to 65-year-old males that my statistics say watches. I know there's some women that watch, and some younger people, and some older people, and a few of you in other countries, and I get all that. But what are we all doing? This is a world thing that's going on. This is not just a United States thing. But the reason why I think that the focus tends to end up being on the United States, at least from the eyes of us U.S. citizens, well, one is the propagandization, that we're subjected to. But two, I really think that it's because of the power that the United States holds, or at least that we believe largely that it holds based on the propaganda. When that power structure breaks down, and it will, financially, the grid potentially, probably having issues, if not nationwide, certainly one of the three grid sections. You got the East, the West, and the Texas grid. Cobbled together, hodgepodge, hardly any important replacement pieces, particularly these big transformers that are about, I can't remember how many there are altogether, but 800 or 900 of them, and we got about 6 in reserve last I checked. It's been a couple of years. I did a video on it, and all this getting ready that we do is merely going to buy you time. So I did a video a couple days ago, kind of talked about where I was, some of the things I was doing, pointing out different things, my hand pump, my stock room, Old Blue over here, and this, that, and the other. I failed to mention, and it's equally as important, I think, the community that hopefully you're building and working on. I currently have within walking distance, there's lots of stuff in walking distance, just depends on how long you want to walk, but say within 15 to 20 minutes walking distance in any given direction, I've got, I did the math the other day because I meant to add it to that video, 6 households with a total of 16 people, and of those 16 people, I want to say 12 of them are viable adults, I guess we'll say. Now, and so that's good. And these are people that I talk to regularly, that I fellowship with regularly, that are like-minded, that are doing the same, are doing some of the things, some more than others, but everybody on the same page, some further along than me, some just getting started, etc. But what this is going to do, this biding time, right, and being ready and being as ready as you can and all that, when this thing falls apart, and I truly believe that it's going to, I believe we're going to find not only one day that you can't get up and your phone's not going to work and the lights aren't going to come on, but you're not going to have a job to go to. You're not going to have a way to get to it if you did. You can't afford what's in the stores if there's anything in the stores. And this is, and of course, that's when the government's going to come up and say, hey, things are tough. Here you go. Here's a helping hand. We're from the government. We're here to help. Those are the words we should most fear. So many of us have heard. But what this will do, these preparations, like I showed the other day in that video, and then what I'm mentioning about community and your friends and or neighbors, acquaintances, however you want to put it, the people that hopefully you trust. You need to be able to trust these people. They need to be able to trust you. You need to also understand that people are people. And so when times get tough, people do strange things. So you really need to know these people. But what it's going to do is hopefully buy you enough time with, hey, I'm not out of food. Hey, I'm not out of water. Hey, I got a little fuel stored up if I've got a vehicle that's going to run. Hey, I got a generator, or a way to produce some power. I can still, hey, I got toilet paper, right? I can still live a semblance of life to where I'm not suffering. Yes, you're going to be inconvenienced greatly, but I'm not suffering, and I've got these other people that are in the same position. So what do we have? We got time. Not much, but whatever amount of time that you got. If you can put up a year's worth of food and supplies, and so can your other, in my case, 6 households or whatever. And by the way, you go beyond those households, and I've got even more people that it would be, if you're walking, it would be a further walk, more like, let's say an hour to 2 hours, and that number doubles of households and people, that are on the same page, that I trust and know and love. But what you're doing is you're buying time to be able to then put your heads together and say, what do we do going forward? If whatever happens is a permanent thing, hopefully you can assess that and understand that and recognize that, so that you can figure out okay, it's permanent, so we got to figure out what we're gonna do once our year's worth of crap is gone, or whatever the case may be. That's why you're storing seeds. That's why you're learning how to grow if you don't already. You're raising animals. You've got items for barter. You've got whatever it is. If it's a temporary situation, or you anticipate that it's a temporary situation, it's really the same thing. You're trying to figure out how you're going to get along until you can come up with another plan, or until the change happens, whatever the change is. Maintain your freedom, maintain your anonymity, maintain your rights, your God-given freedom and rights. And your number one prep, of course, is God, is your relationship with God, Jesus Christ. He's the only one that's going to see us through any of this, okay? But he doesn't expect us to just sit on our haunches and say, well, it's all crashing, but, God says he's going to take care of me. Okay, well, God's given you direction. He's given me direction to do this stuff. This is how this started for me, was God saying, put up your stores. That was back in 2011. And I was a blithering idiot, I'm still maybe a blithering idiot, I don't know. But at any rate, so what are you doing? How far along are you? Are you still continuing? Are you letting all this stuff get to your head? I mean, it happens to the best of us. It's happened to me. But we got to snap ourselves out of it, as I have done, and probably will have to do again one day. It's not easy. It's not for the weak. They say growing old is not for wussies. I'm going to say being a real prepper and understanding why we prep and the realities that are going on, definitely not for the weak, not for the wussies. So all I got today, Real World Prepper. It is Thursday. The stats also say that Thursday around this time, which is in Central Standard, is about 5:30. That's when you guys watch the most. So here we go. Thanks so much. See ya.